welcome to my channel, and you know, hello on the big screen. Sorry, angles. I've got a different screen for you today because I'm doing some knitting and I thought I would try multitasking. Yes, I know I'm crazy, by knitting and talking at the same time, but all I have to do is knit. I don't have to do any fancy stitches. The only thing I have to remember to do is to change the yarn when I get to my big stitch marker. Right, so grab your cuppas. I have my tea here. It looks very big in this camera. I've just moved my cameras around. That's all I've done. Nice hot fresh cup of tea. And I have filled Sophie's plate. So I'm hoping she'll stay in her seat. She's watching she's watching her iPad. My iPad. Don't get convinced that it's her iPad. Right. And I'll catch you up on the news and everything else as we kind of go. Yeah, hubby's in the background too, but he may be having to leave in about 3/4 of an hour to go and swap some tadpoles or hand over tadpoles. More about that later. Alright, so look, grab your work. Sorry. Mouse is starting on the wall. Now, let me show you, because you can't see the picture like you normally do. This is what I've got one of my yarn balls in. Now, it actually has got a lid, this one. This is from Darn Good Yarn, I think. I'm sure it is. This is from Darn Good Yarn. It does have a pretty lid. I've just got my large ball of wool in there. That's my main colour for the paisley purple, paisley pearl knit mixtape. And this is my other yarn ball. This is actually what started me in Darn Good Yarn, and this is all Mrs. Coffee's fault, so I blame her. So they're just keeping my yarn balls handy. I've got these two colours to do a few words, to do a few rows, that one. And I've got the pattern on the page where I can see it but you can't, and yeah, anyway, I'm going for it. So this is the Paisley Pearl Mixtape Knit Along. These are the 1-2 Freddy's After You colours that Rachel has hand dyed. You might have seen on my Instagram me coiling them up on my Nostapinna, which is this. It's Hue & Pine, and I've actually worked out how to ball yarns from skeins. So that was exciting. My first one is a little bit of a dog's breakfast. It's a little bit of a well, let's say the chicken would probably like to lay that egg because it's long and skinny. It's very, very pointy egg, and the others have got more of a roundness to them. I've got even more that are even more round than that. So I'm really, really pleased how that went, and I balled them up on Saturday. Friday night I think I did 2 balls of the small, and Saturday I did the rest, and I think there's 5 balls of the contrasting colours, the colourways, and again those photos will be on Instagram. I may insert them when I do some editing. So there's 5 colours of various shades of brown or green in the most part.
Mommy.
Hi Sophie, get down. Get down, you go eat. So yeah, balled them up and have my bag for my project pouch, and oh, thank you Sophie, she's giving me my mat. Thank you. Okay, bye bye. Go. Such a scam. Sophie, get down. Get down, please. Yes, your leg. Put your foot down. She yeah, she's invading at the moment. Yes. So yeah, the large skein is 100 grams. I think the smaller skeins are 20 grams, although I haven't weighed them. So the large one took ages. But I found out that if I drape the wool over my knee, then I'm onto a winner with being able to unravel it. When I was doing the darn good yarn nail string art a couple of weeks back. I got into a bit of a tangle and into a bit of a tiz, and it got really, really naughty. I ended up doing it on the Nostipina, but it took ages to unravel the thing, and I ended up throwing out a knot at the end that I just wasn't going to battle with. I'd got enough and made do. So that was my first effort of ever putting a Nostipina on, and that's Rachel's fault. But the Nostipinas that I have, the wood sticks for winding, they are a local Tasmanian wood. It's called a Hue and Pine, and one of them I will be giving away. I have two. I bought one to give away because I have a colleague who actually does some wood turning, so he used his contacts and he asked a mate, and yeah, got some gorgeous, gorgeous Nostipinas. The Hue and Pine is, I've told you before, it's one of those trees that grow sideways for the first 10, 20 years, maybe even 30. My husband might chip in here. 30 years is what he's heard, and then all of a sudden it pops up straight and starts growing up. So I think in the beginning it's kind of like a creeper.
It's a funny word for it because it's one of the slowest growing.
It's a very slow growing tree, which means it's very dense fiber, but it's also really, really light. So from a point of view of anything, any kind of use of wood, it's a favorite, and it's oily, so it doesn't get waterlogged, and yeah, it's just really, really cool. So my husband's actually got what we call a sea chest. It's a cupboard.
It's got a lip at the front.
It's a sea chest because it's got a lip at the front.
Yep.
Okay, I didn't know that. So yeah, anyway, one of those is a giveaway, and I need to talk to Beth. I have some sneaky ideas, Beth, and yeah, see how that one goes. Alright, where am I at? It is actually Tuesday, it's not Sunday. So catching up on the week. I was at work last week, and my back pain, nerve pain, whatever the hell you want to call it, probably more nerve pain now, and I don't want to harp on about this overly long, but it probably will be longer than I want. So the nerve block was done Friday a week ago. The actual procedure went really well. I think I mentioned it last week. Had anesthetic for 24 hours, and oh my god, that was bliss. I felt like a normal human, so that was fantastic. And then they said it could take up to 2 weeks for it to start kicking in. Well, in the interim period, it's raising hell. So I think that some of the immediate back pain is gone, but the referred nerve pain is really causing quite havoc with me and my mental health and everything else. And hubby says that I'm unbearable to be with. So yeah. Yeah, apparently that's putting it mildly. Wow. Yeah, it's causing me an awful lot of stress. I'm getting a cold sore as a result, and I'm just not with it. To the point where I wasn't with it in work yesterday, and I said, no, that's it, I'm pulling the plug. I can't do this to my workplace. I need to be more on the ball. So I'm going home. I'm going to talk to my doctor tomorrow. I'm going to go off sick for the week. So they had some advance warning. So yeah, they all know that my back isn't right. So spent all of Saturday in bed. Actually, it was a screaming mess on Friday. Couldn't even stand. It's Friday night, and Saturday stayed in bed all day on the electric blanket. Oh my god, you know who you are, and you are a saviour of mine. I'll hug you forever for that one. So propped up doing my yarning with the balls, which was nice to be able to do something that was light in bed. Had the TV going occasionally and was watching YouTube and all of that kind of thing, because Saturday for me is your Friday night over in the States, and I get to kick back and join in with Mrs. Coffee's Live and help moderate that to some degree and all of that kind of thing. So yeah, did that on Saturday. Sunday hubby wanted to try and do some of the waterfall endeavours that we did a couple of weeks ago. It's part and parcel of getting out, doing family stuff and seeing things, having a goal, I guess.
Having a waffle was to go on.
Yeah, I really didn't know how I was going to go in the car, given that I've got pretty much nerve pain constantly, whether I'm standing or sitting now. This is kind of okay, although I'm probably putting too much weight. I've got my feet up on the back of the couch. I could potentially be a little bit more comfortable, but the pressure into my back is quite comfy, so that's okay. So sitting in the car with the heated seats, not moving, I actually knit on the road. I actually knit the rib here, so these, I did about 7 rows in total. I did go wrong. I did have some errors. I think it was me not being able to count to 2. If you've ever done rib, you'll know it's purl 2, knit 2 kind of thing. So yeah, that was, but I'm leaving the mistakes in. I'm not going back over them now. Sorry, I'm just picking up a stitch that I just dropped. So you saw the video from 2 weeks ago on my last WiPnChat. Well, this time we did the same drive. On the way up instead we stopped at Ross, which is a town in the middle of nothing, and there is a bakery and a couple of stores that are bric-a-brac things, and we never called into the market. There's actually 2 bakeries. There's a couple of bric-a-brac-y kind of stores. Now a lot of places are empty, which is a real shame. There's probably a population of, I don't know, 1,000 within the town. If you're, I know actually that would be a bit generous. Probably 100 in the town and 1,000 in the district around, because it's mostly farms. And stopped at the bakery, and they do a mocha shoe bun. So it's like a shoe pastry in a donut shape, with coffee ice cream and chocolate drizzled and real cream in the middle. There's 401 people living in Ross. There you go. And that might include the farmers on the outer edges. So we stopped there, we had a bite to eat, and then we hit the road again. And we went to the same turnoff as the Lost Falls, and this time we turned left. And we went 11 kilometers up the dirt road. Slammed on the brakes twice on this trip for an echidna running across the road. I will put in a photo of this echidna. Maybe 2 echidnas. I think I definitely got one. I don't know if I got the second one. But the first one was actually quite young. One of my dogs, when I lived on 5 acres, he would be an echidna magnet. He would find them and he would go absolutely spastic barking at them. He would continually bark at them for half an hour or more. So I knew Guinness had found an echidna, and the echidna was just burrowing itself down into the earth. So picture a round cushion with some spikes coming out of it. Now the spikes are sharp enough, but they're short spikes, and the rest of it is kind of fluffy. So it's kind of like this cross between a pin cushion and a couch cushion. What? No, you can't come here. Sophie, get down. No, you get down. Sophie, down. Go on, down. So this echidna, the feet stick out in, outward directions. They point out rather than in for it to shovel up dirt. So this little pincushion of a thing that's, about the same size as an A4 page but round, scurries across the road, or waddles across the road. I've got a colour change here. Hang on just a second while I do some brain work. As I think, how am I doing this? I just want to get, there you go. Okay. So now, colour change for 2 rows with the main colour. And I think the trick with this now is to go around it so that it tensions on itself. Oops, get that out of the way. Oh god. Caught in a tag. There we go. Oops, slipped a stitch. Sorry, thinking out loud. Multitasking, see. There we go. Alright, so this cushion waddles across the road. Husband slams on the brakes, does a quick Yui for the...
I got in trouble last time, so.
Yeah, he got in trouble for missing the first echidna her stepdaughter, his daughter, had seen. She's 11. She's Aboriginal, if you believe any of that kind of... Anyway, Tasmanian history. Go figure.
So last time we went up there,
So
I got
anyway,
in trouble for not stopping fast enough and turning around. And I said it was a waste of time because by the time we got back there, it would have been gone.
And it was an adult echidna, so it was going at a bit more of a clip than this little one. So we pull over in a little lay-by, swing around, and the thing is already off the road. So we run up to where we last see the echidna, and it's already started to burrow in because it can feel our feet coming towards it, so it's thinking predator. So it burrows down, and we stand back about 5 foot, 6 foot from it, and eventually it starts to move again. Kid gets her pictures and her videos, and, you know, gets to stare at the echidna, and, you know, it's her first echidna. I don't know if she got to see its beak. They've got a long stick-like finger, like, out their front of their head, and they've got a long tongue that they stick out to catch the ants and whatever other bugs that they eat. So we stood back again, and it, you know, kept going. But I said to her, "Oh, it's only a young one. It's quite small," because you know, I've seen, you know, a dozen of these things on my own block. So then we go on to the turnoff. That's onto the forestry tracks now, and it's a dirt road with some, you know, heavy stone patches where they've kind of patched up some nasty potholes. And this other echidna is, you know, barreling across the road. So we stop for that one as well. Have a look at it. It burrows in, and this time we don't bother waiting around because, you know, one echidna is another echidna, and she's kind of going, "But it's huge!" And I'm kind of thinking, no, it's not. It's really, it's not that big either. You know. And then as I'm getting back into the car, there's a kookaburra on a dead branch that starts doing its call, and the kookaburra is, I don't have it on video, so it kind of cackles and laughs, and you often hear it's called the laughing kookaburra. Because it does this ha 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 kind of, and Sophie starts saying waka waka, so it now might be the waka waka bird. We'll see how we go. These things are probably the size of my forearm without my, so the size of my forearm, sorry, just trying to get it in camera, size of my forearm, here, kind of to here, you know, upright. They're a kingfisher. It's an Australian kingfisher. And related to the kingfisher. They're in the kingfisher family. They've got one of those fishing beaks. They eat frogs, lizards, and I don't know if they actually go for fish or anything else. But they, you know, they're a reasonable sized bird. So got back into the car after they finished their cackling, because they usually call to each other. There's usually two close by each other. I don't know if they mate for life, these ones. So that was kind of cool. And then we went on to what is called Meetus Falls. So it's Meetus, Meetus. Like, you know, meet us here kind of thing. Went to the lookout for Meetus Falls, and I will insert a video here. Now, what I might end up doing eventually, because the plan is to keep waterfall hunting, more on that later, will be maybe to make a montage of videos, so you're just going to get the roar of videos constantly playing for, I don't know, however long I make the video for. So Meetus Falls, came down this steep track, which is just, you know, loose, not so much loose, but dirt track, stones, and then we came to some steps and a viewing kind of platform as such on the rock, and a fenced off little area. And across the valley, it's hard to judge distances, I suppose, when it's free space, but it might have been 500 meters from the span if we were to go straight across. Maybe even less, maybe only 200. I don't know. I'm poor when it's got nothing of a distance. But this waterfall is pouring down, and again, I'll put pictures in as I'm chatting. It's rained all week on and off, so the catchment is quite good at the moment for waterfalls and stuff.
And we were in the last hour of a flood warning.
And we were in the last hour of a flood warning up north, but that doesn't necessarily feed into it. It would feed into the lake maybe nearby.
It's the whole catchment.
Anyway, so this thing is pouring down what looks like offset stepping stones. So it's really got a good roar. It's a great, great waterfall to go to. And then it comes down to the bottom. There's a pool where it's pouring down into. And then it goes off into a few more smaller falls. There was a sign saying to get to the Signet River. I didn't see a trail, and I didn't see one marked, and I don't have enough information on it.
Where the triangle was.
Ah, there was a marker on the track that showed a triangle, but it didn't show
I think that's what it was.
anything else. Anyway, there might have been a branch in the track. Either way, we weren't going to do that because that was a 50-minute return. Anyway, my back was fine on that one, although it was twinging as I was driving up a couple of times, and I was kind of wincing in the car. In general, it was okay, even with the steps, even with the stepping up on the way back, because on the way down I was kind of going, oh God, I've got to come back up here. If you've ever done any kind of bushwalking, you probably are familiar with that kind of feeling. With the whole out and back. What goes up must come down kind of thing. So, yeah. I used to do an awful lot of hill walking with my dad. He was an old scout. So, he continued to do this hill walking on weekends and stuff. So, yeah. Know all about the out and backs, or the return, not return, but the around. Point to, I suppose, car park to car park in around. You get certain places you can do that too. So, got back in the car, and then we came straight back down the east coast this time. We didn't stop for fish and chips because we were coming home, and I was doing the roast this time because I chose chicken as the dinner, and my husband does not particularly like cooking chicken.
I'll cook your chicken if it's in the barbecue.
He's a little bit scared of cooking white meat, is what he says. He's just not comfortable cooking white meat. So that's not a problem. It just takes, whatever time. And it was just a case of shuffling veggies around. And we actually all ate our dinner on this occasion. Whereas sometimes when Marcus does the roast on a Sunday, because he's doing it all and he spreads it out over the whole day, I think he exhausts himself and then ends up in so much pain that he doesn't always eat it. Which is a little bit frustrating for me, that he ends up putting himself in so much pain, whereas I will whip a roast together in 2.5 hours kind of thing, but it doesn't have as much love in the meal, and sweat and blood and tears. That's what we get. And if he does pork, he's sitting in there for like 3 hours with the heat gun, putting the pork crackling to rights and getting it all nice and crispy. Oh, we did come back through the lolly shop. That was the one concession that we made on the way back. And I think I can insert a photo of the lollies that we got, because I put a review in of the store. Sorry, I'm stuck. Lollies, yeah. I put a review in for the lolly shop. It's what is it? I think it's Ye Old Sweet Lolly Shop or something. Richmond Village is one of the oldest convict towns in Tasmania. It's got the oldest bridge, first bridge in Australia, potentially. In Australia, okay. It's made out of convict sandstone. I could find pictures, they're ancient, but we might actually do another trip out there. There is a lovely short walk along the riverbank, excuse me, and you can bring food for ducks, to, you know, kill the ducks, because bread's not good for ducks anyway, but everyone does it regardless. Anyway, nice little historic village. Loads and loads of old buildings that have been restored into art galleries, wood turning stuff. There's even people dressed up. I don't know if they were customers or store people. It was a girl dressed up like in Amish kind of gear, and we do have, I think, an Amish community here, or Mennonites or something. She's wearing the cape, and she's got the long skirt and bright blue, and not the cape, the head kerchief, and stuff like that. Mrs. Coffee might be able to give me more info on that one, because she's from Pennsylvania and she would be used to seeing Amish. I would love to go and check out Amish country and the bakeries and all things Amish, if possible. I'd probably die without having my phone. I know there's some that have mixed kind of communities where they do have technology and stuff, but I've read so many books, okay, they're novels, and I would hope that they are true to life in the characterization of how they live, because the writers have either come from Amish communities themselves and they've moved out, or they live nearby or something, so I would hope that they're kind of true. But yeah, so there's that, and then we came home and had the roast chicken, and Sophie got some bones, which she gnawed to extinction. She's pretty good with the chicken, with the bones. And then it was back to work for me, almost crying off halfway through the day, but wanting to finish my afternoon kind of chores, and I still had things that I needed to write up, and what I ended up doing was taking a bunch of files home, writing them up when I was at home, rather than staying in the office, and moving them on this morning after I'd spoken to the doctor. So he is a little bit frustrated in that he can't really do much more for me. I feel like I'm rattling with all the drugs that he's given me, a lot of them to do with nerve pain, and that kind of thing, but a lot of it's just management. I know if I'm going to be away from the car or the home, I put a heat pack on, so I have that all day. Heat is really, really good. Pressure is really nice. Not moving is even better. So sitting like this, without having to keep leaning forward, getting up and move files and fetch and carry and all of that kind of thing, is good. It's actually what we call show week this week. Sorry, just checking the time. It's show week this week in Tasmania. It's not happening because of COVID, but it means that there's a bank holiday on Thursday, which means no school, and then it's supposed to be People's Day on Friday, which again means no school. It might be a teacher day or something, but either way, we've got 2 days with no school, and we may end up going for another drive. We'll see how we go. For some part, it's a mental health day for me. It's getting out. It's not doing anything that's going to exacerbate the back. You know, you kind of, there are some kind of cases where you feel a bit guilty for going out and enjoying yourself when you're off sick, but my stress is to a point now where I'm not thinking for work, and I need to have the mental health break in it as well as everything else. So I'm not going to be, I suppose, shy about taking my mental health day, but I really do feel like I'm dropping my colleagues into it. Everyone seems to be going off sick, and the pressure is really on those who are still there, but there's nothing I can really do. I mean, I'm walking down the corridors in the office and I'm sore, and I shouldn't have to. I'm both physically sore now and mentally fatigued because I'm stressing and then I'm not thinking straight, and I'll just end up making a big mistake that is going to cost, and I'm not willing to do that. So yes, I feel like I'm dropping my colleagues into it, but in the long run, hopefully it's for the better, and hopefully it's going to give me the time to not be so under pressure to have to move things, and I can kind of take things at my pace a bit more. So the task this afternoon is, husband is on tadpole duty. Now, our next door neighbours, I don't know where they got the tadpoles from, haven't heard this story at all.
I suspect they're the source of the frogs in our backyard.
But we have noisy frogs in our backyard, noisier than my niece, and I have said, okay, Sophie, shh, too noisy. I have said that my knees croak like frogs. They actually creak and ribbit when I bend my knees. And we have a frog outside our bedroom window that croaks right through the night. You're awake. Is it right through the night? Yeah, right through the night. Doesn't say a peep during the day. In my home on 5 acres, it had wall-to-ceiling windows, or wall-to-eave windows, and occasionally we'd get a frog sticking to the window, sometimes on the inside because the cats would catch them. So they're not big, these frogs. They're really, really cute. So we've got one of these, but by golly, the noise out of this damn thing, chirping all night. So yeah, husband doesn't sleep very well, so he's listening to the frog screaming its head off at night. So anyway, the next door neighbours have ducks and chickens. So all during the night we get the frog or two, and all during the day we get the ducks. And I think the ducks get more noisy the more sex that they're having, because they used to go off at 6 o'clock in the morning. They would be going absolutely bonkers, and apparently that was them having a shag in the back. She doesn't have a rooster. Sorry?
Which wouldn't normally worry us.
No, it wouldn't worry. It doesn't worry us. They actually sound really cool. I'm used to farm life. I've had ducks and chickens on the 5 acres. Love them. But they were noisy. There was one particular week where they were really, really raucous. I was like, oh my god. So they don't have a rooster, but they do have chickens. So I think they've had ducklings. I'm not sure. They haven't told us that they've had ducklings. COVID hit and we haven't had as many catch-ups as we would maybe have had before COVID. So we're kind of lacking in that whole catching up on the news. The girls go next door. The 11-year-old goes next door and has a play with them. Plays in the backyard, comes home filthy with clothes torn and all that kind of thing. So she's having fun with the animals and the plants and everything else. The 5-year-old is, calling out, "Hey Pippa," from the tree in their yard. And she's calling over the fence, and I'm kind of like eyeballing her over the hedge. It's crazy. So, yes, they've got ducks that have a pond. And I think the frog spawn has come from the pond. And the next door neighbour grabbed a couple of tadpoles for the 11-year-old to bring to her school friend, for her to bring to her grandmother. So the original plan was that she would take them this morning in a jam jar, and I said, no, you're not bringing a jam jar of tadpoles to school for people to poke them, smash them, or anything else. So these are...
Are you going to take a picture of the tadpoles?
I don't have a picture of the tadpoles. You better take one for me and I'll put one in. They're, I don't know, a couple of weeks old. They're not brand new. You can actually see how they're forming colouring of a frog and getting into the body shape of a frog, but no legs. Now, when I was a teenager and Dad used to take me bushwalking, we'd find frog spawn up the mountains in Ireland, in Wicklow. And it got to the point where I'd start actually, I think I bailed on the berry picking and put frog spawn in my berry container instead. Dad used to cut an orange bottle, a concentrate bottle, like a, what would it have been? Maybe a 2-litre bottle of orange that he'd cut open the trap on. A bit like what I have now for my cat watering bottle. It's a 3-litre bottle that I have cut a flap out of. So we'd have these containers that were, you know, rectangular, like a petrol jerry can, gasoline jerry can, but small. 2-3 litres, something like that. I think it was only a 2-litre. I don't think it was a litre. A litre would be too small. I think it might be 2. Anyway, we used to drink this orange concentrate, and it was just the containers that he would use. Or he'd use old tins, and he had, you know, put a metal thing for a handle on top. And that would be what we'd put the berries in. So, I think, yeah, one year I actually put my frog spawn into one of those, brought it home, put it into my garden pond that I had put into the garden. We had a little hill in my backyard that, I don't know, was maybe 3 foot high in the main lawn, and then it had this gorgeous gentle slope down into a smaller lawn patch, and Dad had his fruit patches down the bottom. So we had a raspberry patch and a rhubarb patch, and then we had a line of blackcurrant, and we had the electricity substation. Are you looking for your phone? Sunnies. Don't know. I'm not even seeing the lanyard. Had what we called the ESB substation. It was basically a wall that surrounded a electricity hub, so it would have this great big metal contraption in the middle of this concrete wall that was, I don't know, maybe 8 foot high, that in my yeah, vagabond days, I used to climb our fence, which was horizontal slats, and go and sit on the generator wall. If you were to fall into this thing, you would not have been able to climb out, because you have this great big metal structure in the middle, and, you know, 8 foot wall kind of thing. But no sparking, no open power sources, I don't think, on this, because I don't think they could have that near houses. Anyway, so my brother used to use an air gun and shoot towards this solid Besser brick, cinder brick wall as his backdrop into the little lead shot bucket that he had. But Dad used to have loganberries growing up against the wall. So yeah, he was big into making jam, was Dad. And he's still growing fruit now at 93 in his backyard. I think he's only got the berries established quite recently. I should have got them to turn off the iPad in the background, because now I've got Big Money playing in my ear and it's too far away for me to turn off. Anyway. God, I hate Big Bunny. He's such a whiny little shit. Anyway. So yeah, this afternoon I've got a psych appointment, and we're going to try and use WebEx technology and do a Zoom meeting. So that'll be interesting. I haven't had a virtual session with her in the past. I have a piece of wool stuck in the keeper. These keepers came from Rachel as part of that gift. If you want to see the unboxing for that, by the way, or unbagging, that I think it was last week. Anyway, look up Paisley Pearl in the playlist. It would probably be within yarn or odd things or hobbies or something. Just checking time. I have about half an hour. I'll keep going. That is 1. So we are on to row 2. Yeah, so waterfalls are now the thing. Oh, and then hubby came up with man ferns, and I think bakeries also came into the scenario. So we stop at a bakery and we get some cake or something to eat. So yeah, we've got 2 days off from school, and not having school on Friday means changeover is at a later time, so we'll have to check the weather and see what kind of weather we've got coming up for the end of the week. But yeah, this morning was doctor. Hubby dropped me at the doctor, then came back to school to drop the kid to school, then came back to get me, and then it was into the chemist. Well, he's already on things like tramadol and long-term meds. So, yeah, it was about as much as we could do. I still need to go and get pet food at some point. And I have a nail appointment. So it's my Halloween nails appointment. So the nails will be changing from the off-white and gold. Angles on this. Trying to get used to them. Yeah, so the white and gold will be going, and I'm thinking of doing red. Whether I do like blood drips or not, I'm not quite sure. We'll see. We'll see how morbid I'm feeling by the time I get there. And I'm thinking of pointing nails, but maybe not. I only have a week off. My nails are already too long for typing. If I knew I had maybe 3 weeks off, then yeah, I might, because then I knew I wouldn't have to do too much typing. But yeah, we'll see how we go. I would love to be able to tell work, yes, I can help do, I don't know, online stuff at home, just to help out, but I don't know if it would help or not. And then there's the whole, should I really be adding to the stress of doing work? But yeah, I do really have, I suppose, this air of loyalty to want to still help my crew. You know, we're one of many departments. The colleague who suicided, we've got COVID delays, so his son can get here after quarantine to be at the funeral. I don't know what they're going to do with the regard to number. You may have seen my, if you follow me on Instagram, you may have seen my profile picture change, and that is because he suicided, and it's to honour him. And again, the benefit of having the psych appointment, because, you know, as I was mentioning to a friend, there but for the grace of God go I kind of thing. You know, things got pretty bad in 2011, 2012, 2013. You know, the thoughts did get pretty dark. But the upshot of that, when I went into work I had the Monday off because I had the nerve block on the Friday. So I went in on Tuesday morning and heard the news about him. And so that wouldn't have come up in the WiPnChat. So I heard the news that he had died, suicided actually. There was no bullshit. We were told he suicided. I didn't want to know the details because, you know, it was too close to home, basically. And I didn't, thankfully. But I was gutted. And the feelings I was getting was really throwing me for six. Like, I'd burst into tears, you know, at all sorts of things. I'm picking up some paperwork and I burst into tears, and I'm kind of going, what the hell is wrong with me? Now, I know it's normal. I know the 5-8 stages of grief, whoever the hell you want to subscribe to for however many number of stages there are, but all I was getting was this overwhelming sadness for the whole day. And I know a lot of people, when I mentioned it, because the photo for the Monday was hand shadows. And I tried getting Sophie to do hand shadows with me the night before in the kitchen late at night, and she was just not having a bar of it. And the photo that I ended up taking that night was just me with a hand, and it was, you know, it was boring. There was nothing creative in it or anything like that, and that just didn't really come to the mark, I suppose, with me. So the next day I went in thinking, okay, I'm still thinking hand shadows. A few people had done the OK symbol in hand shadows and stuff, and I heard this news and I was absolutely gutted. And my office partner is, you know, jabbering away. It's who she is. She drives me bonkers that this woman is so goddamn chirpy at 8 o'clock in the morning, but she's been up since 5. So she's trapping away and going, oh, blah, 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 and details, and I'm kind of going, I'm dying inside. And I sent a message to hubby to let him know, look, my mood has dropped. You just, you know, to be aware, I'm super stressed. We've had a colleague's suicide, and he's just kind of going, look, ass up, concentrate, you know, breathe, you've got this. And I'm bursting into tears, and eventually she must have realised, I don't know, but she shut up because I wasn't engaging with her at all. Yeah, and then it was just a case of dealing with it through the day, dealing with friends and everyone else, bumping into people on the street who knew him, saying, hey, you knew such and such, you know, he's suicidal, letting know. Friends who used to work with me who've moved to the mainland know. I sent him a message saying, I've sent you a message on Messenger, I don't want to discuss it. But, you know, he got a heads up, and that would have meant then that he would have been looking out for other people who might have been talking about it or could talk to them. Particular friends are taking it quite hard. Very close friends to him are taking it quite hard. And now we've got this 2-week delay for his son to go through quarantine before the funeral, which is a huge, huge deal for us. And I don't know if I want to go. COVID restrictions, are they going to make us limited numbers? But he was in the section I was working in when I had my breakdown, and he was fantastic, not just for the breakdown, he was just an awesome guy. So yeah, completely threw me for a 6, that one. If we knew he was struggling with PTSD, don't know what was the cause of it or anything. He you know, just couldn't cope. And yeah, it's absolutely devastating. But in that process, I'm kind of thinking, what am I going to do? How am I going to deal with this day? How am I going to not dwell in Facebook, because Facebook was killing me. Comments were killing me. Everyone was changing profile pictures to honor him and all this kind of thing. And I'm kind of thinking, I'm dying here. I need pictures of mountains, countrysides, and puppies. And I'm thinking this black dog of depression, you know, is the, you know, what we call the depression kind of spirit animal, which is cruel because the black dog is traditionally the black Labrador, and they're not horrible dogs. They're, you know, they're the best. But I'm kind of thinking I need a better picture to be able to represent the deep gutting sadness that there is. And I've got a black dog, or did. Mizzen is my black spaniel. If I remember now, at 48 minutes, 50 minutes, to put a picture in of Mizzen, she is my black baby. She's dead now. She died of a snake bite. And I've told the story about her going out with AJ, and she'd be snuffling around for the lizards and everything else and making so much noise that a snake would not come near him. And she was amazing. She was my Cocker Spaniel. She was a pound puppy. She was an adoption, and if I could get another black spaniel, I would get one in a heartbeat. She was just incredible, absolutely incredible. And I've got a picture of her. I've got it in a diamond painting. I found one that looks just like her. It's a an Ali Store purchase from way back in the beginning. So maybe I should do that. But again, it's having a picture that I can kind of go, you know how we kind of go fuck cancer? Well, this is almost a, the black dog won again kind of picture almost. I don't know, it's a little bit sick and twisted, I suppose. It's just where my brain is kind of going is to pull some positive, pull some beauty out of this otherwise shit pile of PTSD and depression, because it's killing our people. Last year we had another suicide. Well, I don't know if that was PTSD, to be honest, but it kills people so often. It's a cruel, cruel thing. People who've been in wars, veterans, you will know the mental battle, the scars that you deal with. And it's really, really hard to deal with it. So yeah, that was the whole point of me doing the EMDR therapy, was to try and write this shit. Can't do EMDR with online web conference thing unless she gets me to do finger tapping, but I'm not cracking open my computer just yet because I only have battery. I didn't bring my effects with me, so I'll get the web link shortly and be able to jump in on that. But yeah, we'll see how we go. And then I've got the kid at home, so ears on a psych appointment. Anyway, maybe she'll hear real life that's not whatever she's been in before. Yeah, don't mind hubby being there, but yeah, it's time to concentrate, and whether hubby will let me do it here or I need to go to the bedroom, because neither is private. The house is so bloody small that I don't have a private room to be able to go to. Yeah, anyway, just that. So yeah, life happens. Sometimes it's pretty shit. So this week has been a tough week. Yeah, plan for next week. Well, it's kind of up in the air. Talk to the doctor on Monday, see if pain meds make any difference. See if the time makes any difference. See if, I don't know if resting is making any difference, but I'd love to be able to go back into work and say, put me on light duties, but even still, you need to have your head in the game, and I can't. So, yeah, I get to stay home and feel somewhat guilty for being sore. One of our kind of supervisors, he's got an in-office admin job, and he broke his ankle. He's off for the week as well. The person who does the rosters has gone off because she's got blood pressure issues and she's already got heart problems. Yeah, we're all falling over like flies, and we're all a support system to another kind of network, and it's just like, oh geez, if we fall over, they're gonna have to stop somehow, and yeah, I don't know how that's gonna work. I mean, look, I'm sure it will work. I know that when one of their people is off, they merge. So if we don't have enough people, I'm sure we'll have to just do the same and merge, as crazy as that might be. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. They'll have to do something to support us, because if they don't support us, we're going to lose people to mental health as well, because it's all going to be just too freaking hard. I suppose worst case scenario is they could pull people off recreational leave if they can. I don't know how they work it out. I'm so glad I'm not a roster person. Anyway, so yeah, enjoying this project. I know I've got mistakes. I'm furious I've got mistakes, like really quite disappointed. There's one section in particular that's the worst, like a third of it, third quarter, that's bad, but it's all going to be wrapped up in a cowl, and it's kind of like, I've already frogged this after 5 rows already. I'm not doing it again. I'm trying to keep count of rib when you can't see how it's developing. That was my biggest problem. Once it starts developing, I can actually see the previous stitch guiding me for the next stitch, even if I miss the count. So yeah, tricky. There may be better ways of doing it, but I don't knit often enough to know those tricks. And if you've noticed, I carry the yarn in my right hand. I've seen other people in their left, and they just kind of flick it over the tip of the needle. I feel like I'm so slow doing this. So yeah, there you kind of have it. Trying to catch up on the retreat news. There was lots of lives and videos from the retreat. Oh my god, it looked like so much fun. I wish I was there. It did look amazing, and watched Cara and Brandy. I'd never realised that Cara and Brandy were so close together, Cara and Mistria. And then Rebecca and Marissa had a sleepover as well, as Rebecca was driving home. I thought that was so cool. So all these friendship connections. In other news, if you like colouring, Sherry Baldy was on Mindy's channel last weekend. Go and check her interview out. I haven't yet, but I'm no doubt it's going to be as good as the Chuck interview was. But if you love all things colouring or Sherry Baldy, go check that video out. So Mindy's diamond painting, I think she is now, or something similar. I'm sure if you know me, she's got a few more subscribers than me, so you probably know Mindy. But yeah, and she's also Diamond Craft with a K with Maritza. So yeah, go and check out the girls there, because I think, yeah, it would be well worth finding out where the inspiration comes from. Sherry Baldy, if you don't already know her, does these kind of bubbly, round, cartoonish kind of figures. You know, girls in flower pots or bubbles and things like that. A little bit, there was a character, Polly Pocket, I think might be the kind of thing I'm thinking of. The girl with the Holly Hobby. So that kind of bubbly, rounded shape, and yeah, it's a different kind of style, but these floppy hats and skirts and or shorts and boots, and there's one that was recently done by DAC, which was the like a hothouse flower light, a bit like a flubbalubbalub. Oh, what were they? Bill and Ben, the flower pot men. This chick sitting in a flower pot with her legs kicking out the side. It was all kinds of cute, and the colours are kind of pastel and, you know, young girly, kind of friendly. So yeah, cute, real kind of cutesy, cartoony images. Is Sherry Baldy. So yeah, if you like her, go check them out. As always, I have the DAC affiliate link if you're a new customer, and you jump on there. I get commission. But either way, there are links in the description to all kinds of things, equipment that I use, and all sorts like that. Got some yarny stuff this week in the mail. Put that up as a midweek video with the silks, so if you're into floss and you like silk, come and check that out. There was Weeks Dye Works, and there were two from, oh, what was it called now? Eau de Soy, or Ver a Soy. It's a silk. There were two different silk clubs. If you want to check out the silks, one of them was Divine, and I will keep going for a little bit longer, and the other one I will probably drop after the next month. It's on a bobbin, round thread kind of bobbin, and that just, yeah, it didn't really spark my attention all that much. So, and that's, you know, fine. Colours were cool, but it didn't fire my attention, whereas the flosses, the loose flosses, oh, the silks were just amazing. The only real silk, actually, I've got quite a bit of silk in my life. My sister, being the dress designer that she is, designed my wedding dress, and it was raw silk, which had the slumps, I think they're called, slubs, in linen, So they had these slubs in the raw silk in the wedding dress, and then I sleep on silk. We've got silk bed sheets. And that would be, I think it's a 40 mummy. M-O-M-M-E is what they call it. And the pillow, or maybe the sheet is 30 and the pillowcases are 40, something like that. It's a dense silk. My husband had discovered silk at some point just before I met him, and he had these half cotton, half silk sheets, and yeah, they got torn with use. So we got these silk sheets that are heavy duty, cost a small fortune, and a silk duvet, bedspread kind of thing. The only thing I do hate about the bed is the current duvet cover on it. I just don't like it, but we haven't got around to changing it yet. It was one of those not quite priority things, but the silk sheets are so nice, and especially when they're fresh. So if you can get your hands on those, whew, do that. But go for the good quality mummies. We buy them off Lily Silk if you want to go check them out. But yes, pretty penny in that. Big investment, but well worth it to use. I think I have a thread change again, so we're going to go for the brown, and I'm locking on my stitch minder, so pulling that down, if you can see it, I hope you can see it, grabbing the next one and going to lock my stitch marker on by a couple of stitches, just in case they come off. Alright, I'm going to leave you there. It's at the hour mark, which is, you know, it's a fair whip and chat. I will be adding in the videos as well of the waterfalls, so you will have some fillers there. So yeah, I hope you have enjoyed catching up on my news. Yeah, the back is getting there. I would definitely recommend a nerve block. If you have any questions, please ask me and I will message you privately or whatever. Don't know what's coming up this week. Oh, John Sloan's DAC Spring Ahead is going to be the video tomorrow, Thursday, and yeah, then it's the weekend with recording time or whatever, and yeah, we'll see what happens. I don't have much mail, so I get to this bit of the week and I'm kind of going, oh my god, what am I going to do for the midweek videos? We'll see what happens. Yeah, I may even, I don't know if I will do a live in the next couple of days. I don't know, because it clashes with other people now, so I'm just aware of that. So yeah, look, there's my knitting up to now. That's the back side, obviously, but there you go, there's the front. And this is Paisley Pearl. You can still get the wool on the website, but we'll jump the camera and you get this gorgeous boob shot. Not. I don't know where I was going to go with that. Yeah, look, I'll wrap it up. I'll see you on the videos. Please drop me a comment, like, subscribe, do all the jazz that you need to do. And I seriously, I love your comments. Yeah, let me know how you're going. But if you have any questions, I will post the live schedule in the next couple of days. Trying to get my head around just the whole time management and stress and everything else. That's why I haven't done it yet. But I will get around to doing that. So there will be a live schedule, just kind of, this is, you know, the TV guide, I suppose, of lives. That will be going out soon, and other things will be getting into progress. So I will see you around on the tubes, and I hope you stay well, and yeah, bye for now. Thanks for watching. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face, and the rain fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand.